Welcome back to the case study of Vanitas, anime review episode number 20. This one I'm viewing the 20th episode of the series, Incurable Disease. This one covers basically chapters 44 and 45 of the manga. Yeah, I was able to find a website because previously, for a long time, pretty much since episode 1, I'm doing for the one particular episode, I'm not going to say what it is. And for some reason, this one stopped at 44. And here's the thing, I look up online and I know there's more chapters, but this website didn't have anything beyond 44. So I went to a different website and I was able to find all the remaining chapters. I was able to actually read the most, I would say, the four most recent chapters released, which was from 52 to 55 and the point 1. It kind of in a way wrapped up the story arc from what I can tell anyways. It seems like this one did wrap up this story arc, which is the one they just started in the anime. Hunters of the Dark. Yes. From what I can tell, an arc that lasted for exactly 12 chapters. Yeah, not very long. And here's the weird thing, though. The final chapter of the previous arc, which is Beasts of Galavan arc, which is, to date, probably the longest arc of the whole manga. And the final chapter wasn't adapted. Nope. I thought this episode they might do it. Nope, they skipped that. Not really sure why, but they do. It's one of the most baffling things I've seen for the series, where they actually skip a chapter. Yeah, that's why they go for the first 2 chapters of the Hunter of the Dark story arc. Pretty much this one is basically both. We have both reactions from Genie and it started with Vanitas and Noe, where they break into Count office where he's acting really weird. It's like, yeah, they kind of hint exactly what the heck is wrong with Vanitas, but it doesn't go into detail. Not until he runs into, he flees and he runs into Roland Oliver. In the case of Oliver, this actually is the first time he's met him, and they're not in the cashier's guard. Nope, they're basically dressed like pilots. Yes, pilots, because they just had an airplane that crashed. Yep. And basically, Roland just easily diagnoses the condition of why he feels like very much his heart beating, can't stop thinking about Genie. He's in love. Yep, he's in love. Takes a bit to accept it, but he finally does, and that's kind of the episode there for him. Meanwhile, though, Genie, of course, is detailing what happened with. They kind of cut the bit out, basically, where she explained about the whole thing with Vanitas, them basically sharing a cabin. Yeah, they cut that out of the anime. Where, yeah, and of course, Genie, of course, is also acting the same way as Vanitas, where she's madly in love with him because of the time they spent together. Probably because basically she not only bit him, but also she kissed him on the cheek. Yep. And then, of course, for some reason she's here. I have no idea why. Luca, Genie's master, takes him to Dominique. She is happily in the castle. I'm like, was she here for a visit or something? And they discuss it, and yeah, she's actually quite shocked the fact that she's in love with Vanitas. And of course, we're going with Dominique. We don't know exactly what it is. At one point, Luca basically is just not believing of the whole. He's basically perplexed with the whole thing about his monster being in love with a guy that he doesn't like at all. They starts basically leaving reality, acting a bit irrational, and with Noe we have Dominique basically acting a bit weird in the episode, and it's already known by viewers that she's madly in love with Noe. Noe is a bit oblivious to him. I think it's hinted he might have feelings for her too. They've known each other for a long time, so why the heck not? I think it's implied he might know. In the case of Dominic, yeah, it's definitely kind of confirmed about that. So there's also, we get to hear about, we see this mysterious vampire attacking random people. What the heck is going on here? Well, Noe tells the Vanitas, and it turns out there's a silver-haired boy. He's responsible for this. The manga, I think, when I was reading the most recent chapter, by the way, he did appear. I think his name is Mika. I think his name is. Because they mentioned him in the actual recent chapters I read that came off of the series, which has a shocking ending to it for basically the first present appearance of this character. I'm not going to spoil who it is, because it is somebody who has not appeared in present day the entire series. Because the only time we see this guy is in flashback, and no, he's not dead. So we see that he's controlling Dominique to get his hands on Noe for some reason. Why does he want Noe? Don't know yet. And he runs his fingers through her long black hair. Beautiful looking hair. And then he proceeds to do this and pull out a freaking knife out of his wrist and proceed to sort of stab her and have no choice to get Noe. Use her as bait. Yep, so we're going to the current stuff. I was kind of surprised to see this. Now, I should point out, though, the most recent chapter released from the manga for Case of Vanitas is, in fact, chapter 54. Actually, it's like 55. Yeah, 55 is the most recent chapter released of the series. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah, 55 is the most recent chapter released. Now, why in the world they decided to... Now, here's the thing. These chapters come out monthly. Yes. And apparently, like, 55 is the most recent one that's been released so far. And that probably came back in September. It could have been more. But here's the thing. I don't know if there is any more. That's the thing. I have no idea. I was kind of surprised they kind of threw this guy Mikkel in. And they actually have it where... Like, here's the thing. He appears in chapter... Well, like, appear in present day stuff when it comes to this character. I think they hinted it before, but we're probably going to explore a little bit later, which is going to be quite interesting, to say at least. I'm definitely looking forward to see exactly what the thing is going to basically be. Like, because this is kind of weird for an anime to do this, where they adapt stuff from, like, some that came out just recently. Like, take, for example, the 2 chapters they adapted just for this episode. You're probably asking, okay, when in the world did these 2 chapters come out? 44 came out about 2 years ago. And, well, basically 2 years ago, both these 2 chapters. Yeah, so you're probably thinking, okay, is there enough material to basically cover? Like, this I think is kind of weird. Apparently, here's the thing. Well, apparently, like, chapters 44 to 46 all came out appear to basically, like... It seems like the way the manga works is that release for, like, 2 straight months, and then take a month, and then take, like, 2 months off, and then, for some reason, between 46 and 47, we have, like, a 4-month break between chapters, and it's, like, 2, and then kind of back to monthly, and bi-monthly. Yeah, and it seems as though, like I said, the most recent chapter released was chapter 55. Yes, that was by far the most recent one released. Now, why in the world is it that this apparently is... recent release? I don't know. It's kind of odd to say the least. Yeah, there was also a .5 release recently. But I don't really get why in the world at times that when I can tell release date of this manga, it seems like they like taking their sweet time releasing it. I mean, the manga itself for the Case of Vanitas only started about 7 years ago. And overall, they have only released 55 chapters in 7 years. And you're thinking, why the heck did they do this? Because it's released whenever the actual writers of the manga release it. Yes. I should also point out, like I said, the person who makes this manga, it's a woman, Jun Miski, who also did another anime I had previously covered for this series, covered for my channel, Pandora Hearts. An anime that didn't finish adapting the manga. The reason being because the manga went in hiatus. Yeah, they couldn't wait. For some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, that's why I think we have these, like, releases for this stuff. For some reason, they just don't bother to, like, apparently the studio who made this one, made that one, didn't bother to finish that one. This one, apparently their adapted one, not much problem at all, which is kind of interesting to say the least. And I have a request for Crunchyroll. Like, I have heard because of the merge between moving the library with Filmation. Like, get your hands on Pandora Hearts and dub damn thing. I mean, I'm sure it's probably not that hard to license it. You're probably thinking, who has licensed basically this one? Here. NIS America is a basically the American branch of a video game company. Yes, they're the ones licensed it here, and it was made by Xpic, which, yeah, this was the same company that made the original Shaman King series. I don't think they work on the remake. No, I don't think they do. Mm-hmm. And, well, do I think basically they're going to finish up with the manga? I mean, if you're curious though, how many episodes are left to air? 4. Yep, they have 4. 4 episodes. How far do I think they'll go for it? Don't know. They might go. Hopefully, they adapt 43, because it seems like that's the only chapter they haven't adapted yet for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why, but they haven't. Who knows? Might see them for finale. It all depends on Bones. Yes. And the one thing I've also noticed, though, is that pretty much everything I started reviewing back in January is slowly starting to wrap up. Like this one, for example. Yeah, this one basically, from what I heard, it's someone confirmed this one's going to last for 12 episodes for this cur, and that's it for this one. In the case of the other ones, the only other one I've heard that they did confirm 12 episodes is Attack on Titan. That's the only one I've seen. Yep. Okay, so that's going to be pretty much it for the Sickle View. Next thing, One Piece. Okay, thanks. Bye.